Hello, I'm Dr. Jeff Gold, and I have the honor of serving as the president here at the University of Nebraska system. Welcome back to Shaping the Future, where we spotlight the remarkable students, faculty, staff, and community leaders who are shaping the future of Nebraska and well beyond. And our guest today is Libby Wilkins. Libby's a senior here at the University of Nebraska Lincoln campus, where she serves as the president of the Association of Students of the University of Nebraska, and she's also the student regent. And I've come to know Libby as she's a passionate young lady, all about building community, increasing access to student resources, and creating a more inclusive and supportive experience for all Huskers. She's a shining example of student leadership in action, advocating for her peers, listening to voices, and helping shape decisions that impact the future of the University of Nebraska. So Libby, thanks for being with us. Thanks for joining us on Shaping the Future. Your reputation and your hard work is absolutely amazing. And before we get into your role as a student regent and a student body president, our audience always likes to know a little bit about your background. Where'd you grow up, and how'd you get connected to the University of Nebraska?
I grew up in Ainsworth, Nebraska, so a small town in north central Nebraska, about 1,200 people. Sometimes I say that and people say I had 1,200 people in my graduating class. So
I had twice that in my graduating class.
Yeah, so a very small community, but I ended up here at the University of Nebraska. I'm the youngest of four. All three of my siblings attended UNL. Both of my parents attended UNL. They both actually met when they were new student orientation leaders. So we have a long history at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and I'm sure some students can relate to you want to go anywhere but Nebraska until you start looking at Nebraska and you realize there's actually some pretty good stuff here.
So let's stay on that subject for just a second. You know, I have heard that from so many Nebraska, UNL, UNO, UNK, UNMC students that they went into this thinking, you know, I really want to get out of the state. I want to do something different, etc. And then when they have a campus experience, when they set foot on our campus, when they meet our faculty and staff, when they meet upper class students, particularly, everything flips and they say, I got to stay here in Nebraska. What was that like for you? Was there a particular moment or something that really changed your mind?
So I'm a student in CASNERS, the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources. I would say a lot of students from greater Nebraska, they might feel a little bit nervous about the size of the campus at UNL. When I came to East Campus and was greeted by one of a faculty or a staff member who recently got a kudos award, Sue Ellen Pegg, at UNL, I immediately knew that this place would be home because it felt like a small community that had greater resources than the community that I had come from. People truly cared about me and about my success, and that's what made me decide that this place was going to be home.
You know, that is a story that I hear all the time, that when people come and visit here and when they stay here for their undergraduate degree or their graduate degree, it's that, you know, no two students are the same. They all have very different goals, even though they may have a single major or minor, even though they may have similar career goals, but no two are the same. And yet we work so hard to make every student successful and to feel that you're the center of the universe, and of course you are.
I like to think so.
Well, I'm sure your parents think that, right?
Well, the youngest, I mean, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk about your role to leadership. Was this something that you thought about when you were in high school and when you came here, that this was something you're going to work towards? Because to be the president of the student government and to be the student regent representing this campus is a huge honor, but also a great responsibility.
If you would have told me when I was a senior in high school that in 4 years I would be the student body president at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I think I would have laughed in your face. There was very little student government on my radar until actually last year, which sounds crazy. About a year ago, this fall, I was able to have a few conversations with people about what I wanted my leadership to look like my junior and senior years of college. I'm involved in several extracurricular activities, several clubs and organizations at UNL, and I was trying to decide where I wanted to lend my leadership. And someone came up to me and they said, don't run for, at the time I was considering if I wanted to be president of my sorority, Chi Omega. And they said, don't do that. Don't run for Chi O president. I have what you need to do. I was like, well, please let me know. What do I need to do?
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nice. And they said, oh, you're going to become the student body president. And again, I laughed and I was like, to be honest with you, I don't know everything that happens within student government. I do not know everything about it. They said, well, you better get to looking at the bylaws. And so I did. I started diving into ASUN and their role and their advocacy. And there was just this fire that started developing inside of me because I recognized the ability that student government had to both be advocates for students and also foster leadership within really training grounds for the next leaders that we have throughout our state and throughout our country.
Absolutely. And what's it been like? It's, been almost half a year now, I guess, and I know I've had the pleasure and honor of working with you on the board level and in other areas. We did that student engagement session, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But what has it been like for you? Has it been, first of all, has it been fun? Have you felt that you're really making a difference?
It has been everything I thought it would be and a whole lot more.
I've heard that phrase, yeah.
Yes, there has been I think in this role, you always think that there's more to do. There is always more to do. There's always something else you can set your eyes on. There's always something else that you can drive for change. There's always something else. But as I've been reflecting, which I think is one of the most critical parts of being a leader, there have been such key successes within the term that are just incredible and I feel very proud of. And so, yes, it's been fun. Yes, it's been rewarding. And yes, it has been challenging all at the same time, like any good leadership role is.
So were there specific things that you and your colleagues wanted to see happen, support or draw attention to this academic year during your leadership?
Our first goal was to get more students involved in student government. I believe that student government should be the pinnacle of leadership on campus. It should be an organization where leaders from all across the university, from a diverse background, diverse involvements, come together as a meeting of the minds and can then promote tangible change for the student body that makes a difference in their lives, right? And so our first goal was to get more students involved, which it was a highly contested election, which drove that forward. And so there always, which is such a great thing. Yeah. It brought so many.
That's what democracy is all about.
Absolutely. There were so many eyes on student government and what student government is and what we do. And so that has largely been accomplished. Beyond that, also providing resources and training and really becoming a ground for leadership development. We don't want leaders to just come to ASUN and that's the pinnacle of leadership and there's nothing left to learn, but instead invest and equip and empower those leaders to then go out and continue to be leaders both within their communities after graduation or across campus.
So let's talk about the event around leadership development that you hosted a few weeks ago. Tell our audience a little bit about that.
This was a dream, a vision that came together last winter. As I was thinking, really the phrase that kept coming to mind is a rising tide lifts all boats. right? And so if we want our university to thrive, if we want our organizations to thrive, we all have to do so together. And there was no formal program that did that. And I said, I think ASUN, our student government, that's our responsibility. And so I wanted to bring together RSO leaders, presidents specifically, or their designee, to come together and to engage with one another, and also have a positive ability to connect with administrators. So you were able to be there. Chancellor Bennett was able to be there. Vice Chancellor of Student Life, Dee Dee Anderson, was there. AD Troy Dannon was there. I mean, just truly the top tier of leadership of our university. And we were able to both connect with administrators, and then also we had an outstanding speaker, Dr. Lindsay Hastings, who's an ALEC professor. She's been one of my favorite professors, who spoke on generativity.
It was absolutely amazing. And so as you look towards the rest of your leadership term, is there anything specific that you've accomplished so much, and I think you've built a lot of momentum, and of course you stand on the shoulders of great former leaders of ASUN, but is there anything specific that you're after, or anything that I could help you with?
I think the next thing that we're starting to set our eyes on is hopefully coming soon is a rollout of a campus late night ride program for students that has been in the works and going through all of the red line and the legal and procurement side of things, and so that's one of the programs that we're looking towards and setting our eyes on, and really also partnering with those student organizations that came to the Leadership Summit, then also partnering with them and ensuring that I think it's so easy to sit back and allow people to come to you, but that you don't get anything done that way. And so going to the students is going to be critically important, hearing their ideas in this next part of our term.
Well, I'm excited to hear that's on the horizon, because anything that enhances campus safety and well-being of our students, we have got to champion all the way. Well, Libby, we could talk forever, but I just want to thank you for joining us today. I am so much in awe and grateful for your engagement, even from the very first time we met. I congratulate you on your leadership. I know, that you've older siblings that are graduates here, but I am sure that you make them and you make your parents proud every day. And to each of you who are with us today, thank you for joining us on Shaping the Future. Look forward to next time. I'm Dr. Jeff Gold, and see you on the next Shaping the Future.